First of all, I want to thank Ms. Delgadio, the principal, and thank Mr. Colbert for giving us the opportunity to come into your school today and talk to you about making good decisions. And to also talk to you about how the decisions you make will affect your life in the future. Many of you find yourself being clicked up, hooked up with people you should not be associated with. Have you ever heard the word negative peers? How many people know negative peers by a show of hands? Don't call it no names, just show your hand. That many people know negative peers. All right, put your hands down. Today, we're going to talk about leadership, but we're going to talk about leadership as it relates to influence. Each one of you all have influence. And leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. I brought some gentlemen with me today, some of my partners, some of my friends, people I hung out with when I was in the street, because I haven't always been the person that you see today. See, I was the type of person, if the teacher had to ask you so many times to be quiet as I was in the restroom, I was listening to the teacher tell, just redirect, redirect, redirect. That's not what I would have done. See, I would have had to take another course of action to get your attention a little bit quicker. Y'all follow me? I grew up here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. My name is Tony Hare, and I grew up on the Murchison Road, a place I love to this day. Word that we always used to use, 2 words, my block, because that's how I felt about it. And I got introduced to the drug game later in life. But when I got introduced to it, I loved it. It was my passion. Because I felt like I could get what I wanted when I needed it. But when you make a decision to go in that direction, you also have to make a decision to take the responsibilities that come along with that. You see, when you do wrong, you make a wrong decision, there's still responsibility. Because if you make a mistake out there, it could cost you your life. You make a mistake out there, it could cost your family their life. If you make a mistake out there, it could cost your friend their life, and they don't have anything to do with it. So for many of you today who think you can be a blood, you can be a Crip, you can hang with the Fly Boys, you can hang with Sex Money Murder, you can hang with the Hit Squad, you need to change your mind. And many of you know exactly what I'm talking about because I'm watching your facial expressions, and so I know you try to find yourself sometime clicked up with those individuals. And what's going to end up happening, and very raw in my presentation, you're going to get your head ripped off your shoulders because you're not serious about it. Your heart's not in it. When you make the decision to cross that line, you have crossed the line. And only having a good foundation, your parents teaching you right from wrong, teaching you good morals, good values, those are the only things that you will have to think about when you get taken off the street, when you get caught for doing what you should not be doing. That's the only thing that's going to visit you. That's the only thing that's going to stay on your mind. You're going to hear your parents' voice loud and clear. Because when you're on this side of the street, you got to make quick decisions. Seems like it's all fun because you watch the rap videos. You watch stuff on TV. Well, the guys I brought with me today are real life gangsters. They don't play games with people. And they've done all they could to change their life and took time out of their life today to come talk to you. So when each one of them stands up to speak, I want you to give them your full attention. Does everybody hear what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if you don't, as James Brown said on the movie James Brown, don't make me come out of myself. Y'all understand? Yeah. So we're going to get, I call him Jock. Jock's going to come up first, so he's going to sit where he is and talk to you a little bit about his life. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to tell you their story. Then they're going to give you a takeaway, what they want you to take away from the experience they had, that you will make better decisions and grow up to be productive citizens. Jock.
Good afternoon. How y'all doing? All right. Nice to see you today. Look, I want to ask you all a question. How many of you actually know what a foundation is? Okay, a foundation can be either good or bad. You can have a good foundation or a bad foundation. A good foundation is when you listen to your parents, listen to the teachers in the school, do what they ask you to do so that you can learn properly and carry yourself further in school. Now, a bad foundation is when you do what I did. Start running the streets, not paying attention to the teachers, doing whatever you thought was right, trying to hang out with the older people, just want to be down, as they say, down. So what I'm asking you all to do is think about a good foundation, because a bad foundation is nothing. I started my life off the wrong way. I had good people in my life, but I chose to make the decisions. And there's consequences for every decision that you make. And mine was going to jail, getting locked up on 2 different occasions. But now I've changed my life. I turned my life around. And I would not like to see any of you go down the path I went down. The first being, I started out school at North Street Elementary. Then I went to Margaret Willis. Then I went to Edgewood, AG, all those schools. E. Smith, proudly graduated from E. Smith by the grace of God, did just enough to get by. All I did every day was want to be down, drive my car to school, get out of school, play with the homies, and do whatever, just whatever. Now, what I'm saying to you all is, don't do that type of stuff. Don't make the bad decisions. Do what's right by your peers, your people, and everyone. And most importantly, the very first time I went to prison, I got incarcerated. It was in 1991. I went to prison in Butler, North Carolina. Came back home in 92. Thought I had it made this time. Oh, I know what to do. They ain't gonna catch me. I'll be smarter this time. Not the case. I went back in February of 2000. In February of 2000, I came home in August of 2008. I turned my life around then, because I realized there's no winning in this game. Because it's a young man in the back there that gave me a job. Mr. Gilmore, could you raise your hand? That young man in the back had his own business, and by the grace of God, I was able to get a job with him and go to work. So, because when you come home after being in trouble and doing everything, it's not easy to get a job. As of right now, I have a son going through that same thing. He's trying his hardest to get a job, but he just came home in October. And now he has a child, and I tried to explain those things to him, and he wants a job bad to take care of his child. But it's not working. It's not working. He wasn't blessed like I was to have a friend that had a business that he could get in and go to work. So what I'm saying to you all is make a good foundation. You know what I'm saying? Don't get yourself in no trouble. Listen to these teachers. They are here to help you. They're not here to harm you. Your parents, they're here to help you. And the ones that don't have parents to help them, go to someone to talk to you. Go to someone and reach out. Don't feel shame. Go talk to the people. And another thing, I thought I was, how can I say it? The boss man. The majority of these people up here worked for me. I thought I was gonna retire at 50. I said, I'm not gonna have to work. I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna get it good. But I went to jail twice. I'm 53 right now. And guess what? I'm still not retired. So there's no future in doing wrong. There's no future in the drug life. There's no future in not listening to your parents, your teachers, your educators. There's no future in it. Because what's gonna happen is, if you join these gangs and do those type of things, participate in those things, you're going nowhere. You're going nowhere. It's a dead end street. I mean, it's sad. I really wouldn't like to see any of you children go through that. I'm here to talk to you because I care. I don't have to be here. I came because I care. And now we'll have Mr. Hawkins speak to you.
Good afternoon. Hello, first I would like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to come out here and speak with you all. And I hope that one of you have a change of heart today. I grew up, we had to go to church. And my mother was from Stedman, North Carolina. I grew up in Melvin's Place, the projects off Rose Hill Road. But with my mother being from Stedman, we had a large family. We had to ride the church bus to church from Melvin Place all the way to Stedman, about 30 minutes. We were the first ones at church and the last ones to leave. But I just say that to speak on values that it taught me that you will hear in a few seconds. But I was known as JR on the streets. And I used to work for this guy, and then I started working by myself with other people, and I just became like a sensation. I had Porsches, Mercedes, Cadillacs, anything you about name, any kind of car, and had more money than I could ever even imagine. You know, I was going to parties, and I wasn't even old enough to be in clubs. But this is, you know, drugs. This is what drugs do, having all that money. But there's also, that was some, I would say, positive. But there's also a lot of negative that come with it also. And some of the negative, you know, I had a son. I used to tell my son all the time, talking with him on the phone, son, I'm going to come see you. I'm going to come see you. And, you know, I used to tell him that all the time. But half of the time, he used to be waiting at the door, his mother told me, you're waiting for me to come by. But half of the time, I never went because I was out there selling drugs, you know. So that's a negative. I end up getting shot right here. I was running this way, got shot right here. Look how close it's to my heart. Look how close. I'm running, the guy shot me. But then I turn around and shoot this guy, it grazed his heart. I'm saying these are negatives that also come with selling drugs, you know. And I spent over $150,000 on lawyers and still went to prison twice. So all that money don't even make a difference. And half of the time when you go to prison, you lose everything you got. You lose it. If the police don't take your cars and the money you have, your family end up taking it and selling and everything while you're locked up. So it's a whole lot of negative comes with it, you know. It'd be a lot of positive. You think it's positive, but it's really not, you know. And after that, today, after being released in 2002, you know, I said, one of the things I said, that I would do whatever it takes not to come back to prison. I would do whatever it takes legally not to come back to prison. And that's what I did. My first job upon getting out of prison, I was a janitor. A guy I knew, he gave me a janitor job. He thought he was just helping me. But shoot, I wanted to work at this time. I was trying to work 40 hours a week. The guy told me, hey, you working too much. I didn't need that much work from you. So he had to end up letting me go. So my second job, I went to Walmart. I ain't know nothing about changing oil or anything, but I did get a job. So I was there changing oil. I put a dent in somebody's new filter. I should have put a new one on because I damaged the new one, but I didn't. I ended up getting fired from that job behind that. But still, I said, heck, I got to get a job. So I ended up getting a job at a tire place. It was doing the same thing, changing oil, but it was a lower job than working at Walmart. So I only worked there for about a month. I couldn't stand being in the cold. So, and then I left and went out to Smithfield Packing. And this is where a real big difference was made in my life. I didn't think I could work out there, but after I was out there for about 2 years, I said, dang, I'm making all this money. I was working at the packing place. So I said, dang, I'm making all this money. I started to think about how much money, if I stay out here long enough, how much money would I be making in 7 years from working out here? And which made a big difference. I said, dang, I started thinking, oh, I can retire from this job. I'll be making a lot of money in these years. Instead of just planning for today, sometimes you have to plan for years ahead. See what's down the road with doing right. Because it's not going to happen overnight, doing right. You know, you have to plan. So I ended up working at Smithfield for about almost 3 years, and I progressed in that job, you know, and I ended up getting fired from there, getting into it with a worker there. And when I left there, I was crying. I called my mother. I said, Mom, I got fired. She couldn't believe I called her. But I had to got married from Smithfield. I got married, and I had ended up buying a house. The house was, they used all my credit to get a house. I couldn't even believe the changes that I was going through at this time. So, and that was great. But after 3 years of being there, I got fired. Then I went to my 4th job, and that was at Evergreen Behavior and Health. And that's where I started working with kids and adults that have behavioral problems or any type problems. And I just loved that job working with kids. And I progressed so much in that job, it was just unbelievable without a degree. But that helped me pursue that I wanted to get a degree in the social field to try to help young adults or grown adults. So with that being said, you can do anything you want to, as long as you have to put your mind to it and just try. Because thinking a lot of doing wrong, trying to get it overnight, in the long run, it will hurt you. I'm almost 50 years old, and like Mr. Jock said, Cletus, Mr. Warren, I'm still not retired, nowhere near. But if I would have started working at 18 or 19 or went to college and started working after that, I'll probably be in a better situation now. But today, I'm still in a great situation because with my job and everything, I still get to talk to youth and adults and try to help someone to do the right thing in life nowadays. So thank you. I just hope you would take some of those words and use it in your everyday life. And here's Mr. Cody now.
Good evening, how y'all doing? Well, I'm not used to speaking, but the guys had to talk me into this. I changed my mind. I said, no, I can't do this. But anyway, I moved here in '76, living on Fort Bragg. Went to school out there. Went to junior high at Fort Bragg, came to E. Smith.